Hey guys, so I want to share you my dream. Okay, so in this dream, it's like I know I was in a different apartment. At this point, I was struggling, and I had placed a Walmart order, and on the order, like I wasn't able to get much because I really didn't have too much money for groceries. And so while I was waiting for the order, they had brought the order to my door, but I'm looking in it and none of my stuff was in it. It was like more in the bag than was actually mine. And so I was in the apartment and some ladies were there with me. And I'm like, okay, I got to tell them to take this back because this is not my order. And they're like, no, 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 keep it, keep it. I'm like, I'm not going to keep this order because it's not mine. Just saying that God will provide, but this is not my order because I really didn't have money for all the stuff. And so I decided I was going to give it back. And of course, they were upset about it, but I decided that I wanted to do the right thing. And so from there, it's like me and my kids ended up in an auditorium. And in the auditorium, I remember we were sitting in the front. Like my kids, all of the kids were playing. So they were like running in the back or whatever, and they were playing. And then like I seen mothers and people bringing in their kids, and they just had all of this food. Like somebody had some Popeyes, McDonald's, all stuff that of course kids love to eat. And I couldn't afford that. Like this was around tax time, so of course folks get taxes, they start getting all that fancy food, that extra food. And so, but I didn't have my taxes, so I couldn't get it for them. So my kids are like watching these kids and they're wanting it for them because I think I had like some snacks for them, like some saltine crackers, some cheap snacks, but I couldn't get them any of that. And so they're looking around at it and they want it. But it's like, I'm like, it's okay, guys. God is going to give us this one day. He's going to give us more than this one day. And so I was just trying to encourage them and uplift them, so they wouldn't feel so upset about not having what everybody else had. So fast forward, it's like I ended up in the bathroom and I was in there with this girl and she was just gushing over her boyfriend. And she was saying how, like they were going to get married, or she was wanting them to get married and everything. And we and her ended up talking, and I'm like, I don't have anybody. Like when she said it, I was sad. I wasn't hating on her, but I was sad because I'm like, I ain't got nobody. So I wasn't hating on her or anything. And me and her started talking about it. And, I was telling her, like, I'm waiting for my person. I'm waiting to get married and all of that. And then at the end, I said, it's okay because God is going to bring this person to me one day. Okay, so she had ended up leaving the bathroom, and I heard the voice of God like so audibly because I was in there like fixing, how you in there fixing yourself up, checking yourself out. And I heard the voice of God so audibly say, you are going to have these things because you believed. And that was the end of my dream. There are a lot of you that has refused to do the wrong thing, even when it was easy, even when you were struggling, even when you wanted to. You decided to wait on God and you decided to do the right things. You didn't go back to your old way of life, and you didn't go to the ways that people were trying to ridicule you and bully you into. Rather, you decided to trust in God. And that is signifying like the groceries at the beginning, where I was like, I'm going to do the right thing, because they was like, just keep it, nobody's going to know, stuff like that. And rather you chose to trust in God that he would bring you something, and you decided you were going to keep doing the right thing, even though it was hard and even though you were going through a struggle. There has been times, and I'm speaking to you mothers as well, there has been times where you've seen people with stuff, or you and your kids have seen people have stuff that you could not provide for them because you were in a season of lack. Like I'm talking about severe lack. Like it was famine. It was dried up over there. And you're seeing people have stuff that, of course, you wanted, but you couldn't have it. And so you decided to trust in God. And you said, I'm going to trust in God in spite of. And that has been the theme of your life. you trusting in God and waiting for his promises, and you also encouraging your kids. This is not just for mothers, but for the mothers, you encouraging your kids to trust in God and believe, and telling them that, God is going to do this for you. You kept your faith even when your reality looked nothing like the promises you received, nothing like what you felt like you were going to receive from God. You kept your faith, you stood firm on business, and you believed and you spoke that into your life. And God is saying, because you believed, I am going to bring these things to you. All of that faith was not for nothing. God has been watching you do and make the right decisions, even though they were costly, even though it meant lack, even though it was hard, even though your season was so troubling and you could not understand why you don't have this, and you're needing this and you're needing that. You even, thank you, Holy Spirit, what I'm hearing is you even worked overtime to keep yourself from even being angry with God. I'm not saying that you weren't upset. Like, I'm seeing you cry. I'm seeing tears flowing. So you have cried, mothers, more than likely outside of the presence of your children. But this season has been extremely hard, where you are watching people have everything that you wanted. And here you are with this promise, and you have not received anything. You haven't seen anything. It's been struggle after struggle after struggle after struggle. Like, it's been so hard for you. Yet and still, you chose to keep the faith. Yet and still, you chose to do the right thing. Even when people is like, nah, it's cool.